Stephen A. Smith, we're still on the Stephen A. Smith topic. He and Michelle Beadle are kind of at each other's throats. Let's play SOT 4. I think Michelle Beadle. No, should we start with Michelle Beadle? Yeah, let's start with Michelle Beadle attacking. Let's play SOT number 6. This is her talking about Stephen A. Smith.
So instead of he doubles down and he does this. If I'm ESPN, and I get it. You created this monster. He is bigger than you now. And that's exactly your fault and your fault only. You let him run rampant all over that company and put his face on for everybody who's like, oh, he works so hard. I'm going to let you in on a little behind the scenes. He wants to do that. Nobody's asking him.
He's desperate to do it.
He shows up. I told everyone I work with, I will never share a set with that person, ever, because I don't respect him, and life's too short. The morning of my last day on Get Up, as Greenie was giving me a heartfelt goodbye, and I awkwardly sat there, as I was leaving the set, they started a promo that Stephen A. Smith will be on the show tomorrow. It is him. So let's stop acting like the guy gets worked to death. It's him.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's hear SOT 4, Stephen A. Smith responding to Michelle Beadle.
I don't know this woman at all. So when you hear her talking about me, please understand, I don't know her. I have no relationship with her. She says I don't like her. How would you know? It has to be because of how you're acting, Michelle Beadle. It can't be because of me. Because I don't talk to you. I don't know you. I don't talk to you. I've never been around you. We've never had a conversation. We've never hung out with one another. Nothing. We have no relationship. I can sit up here right now, walk outside to the bathroom, pass somebody in a hallway, talk to them for 2 minutes, and that would be more extensive than any communication I have had with Michelle Beadle in all these years.
She's replaying the whole Ray Rice situation and her battles with Stephen A. She's doing a little clout chasing. I actually kind of side with Stephen A. Smith here. Steve, you disagree?
Is that Michelle Beadle or Michelle Bitter? Good grief. This is what I remember about her at the end. She was incredibly toxic. She flat out said, I'm not watching football. All right, so if you're on ESPN and you don't want to watch football, which is about 80% of every sports network's discussion and dialogue, what good are you? And I don't know. We don't defend Stephen A. Smith a lot here. I know you don't. I'm kind of with you. I tend to believe Stephen A. I believe that Michelle Beadle is very, very regret-filled in terms of how she dealt with her departure, her decision to leave ESPN, and that Stephen A. Smith, say what you want, has become a titan at that network. She may hate what he said about Ray Rice, and maybe Stephen A. represents something to her that she finds unpalatable, but when it's all said and done, Michelle Beadle, I think she took the wrong path, and now she's regretful.
TJ?
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, Stephen A. chose perhaps the least flattering photo of Michelle Beadle I've ever seen there. She's 50 years old. I think she looked 80 years old in that picture, and he kept it on screen for a very long time intentionally. And so that's number one. Number two, the stuff she said even there, and just that small snippet, is just so absurd. I will never share a set with that man. Life is too short. Oh, life is too short to speak to somebody on an entertainment show? Life's too short for that? By the way, it's not just your show. Greenie was on that show. Jalen Rose was on that show. You know, it was a show when, according to your own network, he at that time was the most popular guy on the show, according to them, whether we agree with that or not. And so, yeah, this spat, she's trying to stay relevant. When was the last time you heard Michelle Beadle's name before she criticized Stephen A. Smith?
It's been a while. I've never seen anything how likable Michelle Beadle was and then how unlikable she became. She had a sense of humor. You could joke with her. She was like, hey, let's have a beer. Hey, let's watch the game together. She's the one woman I could watch the game with. That's who she was. And then she got so filled with the power and the butt kissing that went on at ESPN, she just started taking herself way too seriously and drawing lines in the sand. You know, I can't work with this person, can't work with that person. And I get it. There are people that, because I've been in that position in terms of like, there were women I didn't want to work with. I've been clear about that because, you know, I didn't think they brought any value and I thought they were there for other purposes. Look, I was someone that, you know, Fox Sports wanted me to work with Nick Wright, and I didn't want to deal with his disingenuous racial stuff. The guy's a white Jewish guy that thinks he's black, and I didn't want to deal with it, and wanted to put me in all kinds of conversation. He knock off Max Kellerman is what he is, but I don't know if he claims his Jewishness, but he looks real Jewish to me, but I could be wrong. But he was just some white guy that wanted to be black, and I didn't want anything to do with it. And so I kind of get where she's coming from, but again, when you're talking about Nick Wright or Joy Taylor or some of these people, it's not like, hey, the biggest star at the network or the person the network's most invested in, I won't go on camera with them. That's a recipe for your own destruction. Let me play Cari Champion, who also went after Stephen A. Smith. Let's play SOT 7.
Stephen A. I played that Michelle Beadle clip for one reason and one reason only. I'm old enough to remember being on that show and getting in trouble based on some comments you said about women and whether or not they should know their place when it comes to abuse or non-abuse. Ray Rice comes to mind. Not going to get into the details of all of that. But Beadle just came for you yet again, like she did when I worked at ESPN. I wonder, do you have that same smoke for her that you have for Jasmine Crockett, that you have for Michelle Obama, that you sometimes display for me and Jamel Hill? Do you have that same smoke? I'm sick of it. Keep the same energy. And I call you and I root for you and I say, hey, I got your back. I'm happy for you. But you keep that same energy, sir, for everybody.
Keep that same energy. Keep that same
Smoke.
energy.
Smoke.
Let's play Stephen A. Smith's response before we chime in.
I've shown you nothing but love. What are you talking about? You were hired at First Take in large part because of me. You stayed as long as you stayed and had the support of the people that supported you because of me. Do I need to get bosses to confirm that I'm telling the truth? You know I can. When we see the diverse people that come on First Take, black people, women, the list goes on and on. Who did that? That wasn't happening when Skip was there. That was me. What are you talking about? When have I spoken against you? When have I thrown shade against you? When did that happen? That is a lie. Me, dogging Cari Champion, when? And if I did it, why did you call me and root for me? What are you sick of? Or did you just want the attention? And Cari Champion, you were at the Tennis Channel. And I brought you over to ESPN. Not just me. Had to get approval. Had to get Skip Bayless support because he was the number one guy. Who you think did it? Who you think did it? I can get into a whole bunch of details that surrounded you not necessarily ending up there. If Skip had his way or somebody else had their way, it was me that stopped that. It was me that stopped that.
Once again, I somewhat side with Stephen A., but I also just think he thinks there's some sort of unity along racial lines. That black people, we're all going to get along together and there's some unity. And I'm like, brother, have you looked at the Crips and the Bloods? Have you looked at the divorce rate between black men and black women? Have you looked at so this racial unity is some fantasy land. And then the other thing is he's lived too long to not realize that Cari Champion, Michelle Beadle, these are all feminists. And feminists have no interest in long-term unity or support of men. His alleged friendship, he doesn't know who his friends are. Cari Champion will never be his friend. The only way she would pretend to be his friend is if she had complete control of him. Stephen A. just sounds naive here, although I do side with him.
Like what you saw? Hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the full episode by clicking the link below.